So today's gonna be a fun one, and I'm really excited about this. This is the all-new cyberbike Raptor, the second cyberbike I'm featuring here on the channel, and their newest one in their lineup. With that being said, this is the only other bike besides my own personal mountain bike that I've actually featured here on the channel and actually ridden on real downhill mountain bike trails. Yes, this rode real downhill mountain bike trails, as well as other stuff like speed tests, brake tests, hill tests, and so on, like you normally see here in the videos. But this is an enduro style mountain bike and I had to put it to the test. And I've got the footage to prove it, and we're gonna be doing a breakdown. With that being said, this video is sponsored by Cyberbike, but by no means do they have a say on what anything is being said in this video about their products. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. The Cyberbike Raptor is an enduro-inspired electric mountain bike and is priced at $2,595 and comes with a load of features not seen at this price point for any electric mountain bike. Let's do an overview and breakdown of the specs to see what the Raptor has to offer at such an affordable price point. The Raptor frame is made out of 6061 aluminum alloy and has suspension in front and rear. The front shock is a Wolf Prodigy air suspension with preset rebound and dampening with 140 millimeters of travel. The rear shock is a D&M with preload, compression, and rebound dampening. The Raptor comes in a mullet configuration with a 29-inch wheel up front and a 27.5-inch wheel on the rear, both wrapped in Maxxis tires and are tubeless ready. The brakes stopping this beast are Wolf V2 4-piston hydraulic disc brakes with 203mm rotors front and rear. Now moving on up to the cockpit. The handlebar setup on this bike is a Pro Max alloy mild rise handlebar with 760mm in width and are wrapped in ultra lock-on grips that are attached to a pretty standard 90mm stem. On your left you'll find a thumb throttle, a dropper post lever, and controls to be able to navigate through all the pedal assist levels on the in-frame display, while on your right you'll find 10-speed trigger shifters. And one of the add-on feature options of this bike is a triple beam headlight. Alright, headlight off, no light at all. Let's put the headlight on. Boom, nice wide stream as well as a nice long stream to be able to get a good distance. Nice wide view, makes for some good nighttime trail riding. The dropper post is a welcome feature on a bike at this price point with 395mm in length. Now last but not least, the motor. The motor on this bike is a Star Union 750 watt peak motor that's being powered by a 48 volt 13 amp hour battery pack. All right, so for this segment, we're gonna be talking about how the Raptor handles some real downhill mountain bike trails. And by no means am I saying to take your Raptor or any other cyber bike on some trails like this, but I had to put it to the test. I mean, this is inspired by a real enduro style bike, and why not take it on some enduro style trails? Here's some of the footage and we'll talk about exactly what was going on. Now the downhill mountain bike course I'm riding here is Mountain Creek Mountain Bike Park. It has several different lines and trails to be going down, and right now I'm actually riding the medium trail level. So I did try to ride a higher end trail level that would have Red Bull jumps and huge drops, but honestly the bike is not made for that. I really wanted to showcase what this bike was capable of on a medium and easy trail level, showing you how the suspension reacts, showing you how easy it is and well it carves on all the different obstacles that this course has to offer. So with that being said, this thing actually handles pretty well, and I'm really happy that I swapped out the pedals to the grippier style pedals that I have versus the stock pedals, because my feet would have blown right off this bad boy. One thing I did regret not swapping out before riding this would be the grips, because my hands were killing me by the end of this trip. Now with that being said, this bike actually rode really well in my opinion on the trails. Like I said, it's not made for that, but it did carve and get into the corners really well, pretty similar to my actual enduro bike. And with that being said, I feel like if you did some minor upgrades to this bike, you probably would be able to ride these trails on a regular basis. With that being said, let's see how this thing does on the hill and speed test. All right, so now it's time for the speed test and brake test with the Cyberbike Raptor. 750 watt motor, I should reach a top speed in and around 30 miles per hour. Now with the brake test, I'm pretty much gonna ruin these tires. So with that being said, we're doing the speed test and pedal assist number 5 and throttle only straight into the brake test. Hitting start, got the suspension locked out. Gearing down, pushing hard. Got a bit of a headwind today, that's for sure. Let's put a lot of energy into this. See if we can get that 30. Such a gnarly headwind today. pretty much maxed out. Let's see what throttle only is. All right, throttle only, hitting start. Got to initiate it a little bit there. And now we're full throttle right now. Gradually picking up speed. Once we get to our max speed, we're gonna do the brake test and shred this tire up a little bit, see how fast we can come to a stop. Jumping up to 18 miles per hour. Like I said, today we have a pretty gnarly headwind. Still might hit that 20 miles per hour. Coming around to that uphill. We're gonna be doing our brake test here right up at this sign. 3, 2, 1. Woo! I mean, that's to be expected with these tires being so treaded on a surface like this. Yeah, you're gonna stop pretty quick, but you are gonna shred these tires up. So for the speed test in pedal assist level 5, I traveled a total distance of 963 feet with a max speed of 27.7 miles per hour and average speed of 21.6 miles per hour in 30 seconds. Which that top speed is pretty impressive given the fact I'm running some pretty knobby tires on this terrain. If I did have more of an urban style tire, you'd probably reach that 30 to 32 miles per hour marker. Now when it comes to throttle only, I traveled a total distance of 1,015 feet with a max speed of 19.6 miles per hour and average speed of 15.8 miles per hour in 44 seconds. Which is to be expected with a 750 watt motor like this, and you're really only going to use the throttle in dire need situations. So with that being said, let's get straight over to the next test. All right, so similar to the speed test, we're gonna be doing the hill test in pedal assist level 5 and throttle only. I'm gonna try to keep it geared down, but if I need to gear it up, we will. Let's get going, and oh man, it's already off. This is the newest hill that I'm using in all my videos to give you guys a good representation of what to expect out of all electric bikes you see here on the channel. Moving up this thing effortlessly, while also still being able to put in a lot of my own energy, so I actually can get a workout doing this. Coming up to the top now. No lagging at all in this motor. Feeling pretty good in pedal assist. Let's go try out the throttle only. All right, now for the throttle only. I'm gonna gear it down a little bit so that I can get a bit more torque going up the hill, because depending on what gear you're in, if I was in the hardest gear using throttle only, it wouldn't be able to make it up this hill. You gotta keep it in basically the most precise gear possible given the hill that we have here. So with that being said, let's get it going. The initiate with the pedal, push the throttle. Nice smooth take up. And usually right about now, I would actually just start flipping through the gears to pick up speed. But we need this low end gear right now in order to get up this steep hill. I like to call this the ski lift. It takes you up to the top of the hill so you can enjoy some descents. With that being said, it's pulling pretty good. I'm actually pleasantly surprised about this actually. Coming up to the top of the hill right now, still pulling some power. And yeah, not too bad. With that being said, let's get back over and hear my final thoughts about the cyberbike Raptor. So in closing, is the cyberbike Raptor worth the price point of $2,595? And I personally do think so. I'm gonna give you some examples on why I think so. Now, a lot of electric bikes that are out there, let alone electric mountain bikes, don't come with things like a dropper post. That's a big upgrade in my personal opinion. You have air suspension front and rear, Maxxis tires front and rear, a nice powerful motor. I mean, you're getting a hidden sleek display in the top tube of the frame. You have upgrades you can do to this bike. And one of the things I already did was the pedals before I did the downhill mountain bike segment, because I needed those feet to be firmly planted and gripped to the pedal. Now you always want to think about the grips, the seat, and the pedals being the first things that you swap out on a bike because you have the most contact with those things. Now I'm not saying that the products that come on this bike aren't that good, but if you're riding the bike aggressively to and from work, hitting the trails, those are some of the things you want to swap out. With that being said, this bike really does outperform a lot of the other bikes I've featured here on the channel, and it being at that price point of $2,595, it is a really good buy. So with that being said, if you guys are interested in the Raptor or any other cyber bike at all, click the link in the description below and check them out. If you guys like this video, drop a like. If you'd love it, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.